Hello students, welcome to this online lecture of computer science. So, today we are going to start with the first chapter, that is Introduction to Microprocessor and Organization of 8085. So, in last lecture we have studied the evolution of the microprocessor. Today we are going to study the block diagram of the computer, the block diagram of the generic microprocessor and the block diagram of the microcomputer, and we are going to see the significance of all these blocks. So let's start with our lecture. Now we will revise the evolution of the microprocessor. Then we will start with the block diagram of computer, block diagram of microcomputer and block diagram of generic microprocessor and its significance. So let's revise the evolution of the microprocessor. So the first generation of microprocessor, it was of 4-bit. The first microprocessor introduced in the market was Intel 4004, a 4-bit PMOS microprocessor in 1971 by design by a scientist Fakin. This microprocessor was in fact designed to be used in calculators. So basically the first microprocessor was designed to be used in the calculator and in the logical operator, and it was designed in 1971. It was the 4-bit microprocessor. The next microprocessor was developed in 1972 by Intel, that was Intel's 8008. So the first general purpose 8-bit microprocessor. Before that it was the first 4-bit microprocessor. Now it is the 8-bit microprocessor with the instruction set of 45. And this microprocessor performs arithmetic and the logical operations. Now we will see the second generation. The second generation was the 8-bit microprocessor. The first generation was the 4-bit microprocessor, and the second generation's first microprocessor was developed in the year 1974. It was Intel's 8080 and 6800, that is Motorola, were introduced the Z80 8085 from Intel. So these microprocessor were 8-bit microprocessor. The development of the microprocessor has been in the direction towards a complete microprocessor system with CPU, ROM, RAM, clock, I/O ports, all in a single package. The next, it was in 1976 Intel's 8085. As we have seen, it was developed in a direction to a complete microcomputer. Now we will see the third generation. The third generation was in between the year 1978 to 1980. So it was a 16-bit microprocessor. It was 8086 Intel's Zilog 8000 M68000. So this microprocessor was developed for 12-bit microprocessor followed by the 16-bit microprocessor. And the next, it was the fourth generation. It was 32-bit microprocessor. It was developed in the year between 1981 to 1982. It was Intel's 80386 and 80486. It was a 32-bit microprocessor. It was the upgraded version of the 386. which can address a physical memory of 4 gigabytes, that is 4 into 230 gigabytes. Other 32-bit microprocessor announced in 1982 as the HP32. And the last, it was the 5th generation. It was 64-bit microprocessor. Pentium 1, Pentium 2, Pentium 3, DX4, i3, i7. These were the very popular in currently used PCs. It uses the 32-bit address bus. Intel introduced series of advanced processor for mobile servers. Now let's see the block diagram of computer. This is the microcomputer organization. You can see that the first block, it is the input unit, the last block, it is the output unit, and in the middle there it is the central processing unit. In central processing unit there is control and arithmetic logic, and the memory unit. Memory unit consists of PM and DM. PM means program memory and DM means data memory. So, a list of instructions with data is stored in a memory either for a short time or permanently. Actually, instructions are stored in a memory called as a program memory. In this memory unit, there is the two type of memories, that is program memory and the data memory. So, instructions which are stored in the memory are called as program memory, and the data stored in the another part, it is called as data memory. Program memory and data memory. So after feeding the instructions, after feeding the set of instructions into the memory, control is used to read the first instruction from the program memory, and according to the instruction it performs the work with the help of control and arithmetic circuit, as adding of two numbers, jumping to other memory, etc. So the basic difference between the microprocessor and microcomputer is that microcomputer is a small size computer, while microprocessor is one of the block required in a microcomputer system, which is actually the heart of the system. Microprocessor with memory, input, output and clock form of microcomputer. So the difference between microcomputer and microprocessor is that microcomputer, it is small size computer, while microprocessor, it is a one block of the microcomputer. The microprocessor is an IC that contains much of the processing capabilities of a computer. It is small but extremely complex LSI device that is programmable. So we have studied the block diagram of computer and the significance of each block. The next, it is the block diagram of generic microprocessor. So in this diagram, you can see that there is ALU, arithmetic and logic unit, at the top left side, and at the bottom you can see that X1 and X2, that is clock is given crystal clock, that these two are the inputs given to this, and the ground, that is power supply, plus 5 volt power supply is given and another ground is given. The next, it is the interrupt control. Above that we can see that there is a read and write, that is timing control reset. There is program counter, stack pointer, instruction decoder, instruction register, data address register, latches, temporary register, accumulator, adder, status register. A0 to A5 buffer latches. This is the address bus. Okay, at the left side A0 to A15, it is the address bus, and at the right side D0 to D7, that is the 8-bit, it is the data bus. So we are going to see the significance of each block one by one in this whole chapter. Basically, this block diagram is divided into 6 parts. The first, it is the arithmetic and logic unit. The second, it is the resistors. The third, it is the instruction decoder. The fourth, it is the timing and control. The fifth, it is the interrupt control. And the sixth, it is the 3 types of buses. So this block diagram you can see here, and we are going to study these 6 blocks of this microprocessor. So the first, it is the arithmetic and logic unit. Basically, you can see here at the top left side of this diagram, there is a arithmetic and logic unit block. So this block, it is of 8-bit unit where arithmetic and logical operations are performed. Arithmetic and logical operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and logical operations like OR, AND, NAND, NOR, XOR, XNOR. This all arithmetic and logical operations are carried out in this ALU block. The second, it is the resistor. So the resistor microprocessor makes use of several resistors. Some of them are 16-bit and others are 8-bit. So there are general purpose resistors. I will show you the block diagram of the resistor. See, these are the diagram of the resistor. There is accumulator and flag resistor. Accumulator is 8-bit. It is the main resistor used to store result of arithmetic and logical operations. And the next, it is the general purpose resistors, that is BDHCEL. So B, it contains 8-bit, D resistor contain 8-bit, H resistor contain 8-bit, C resistor contain 8-bit, E resistor contain 8-bit, and L resistor contain 8-bit. There is a stack pointer 16-bit and program counter 16-bit, data bus and address bus. So this is the resistor addressing. So basically, what is flags? Flag in 11th standard CS you have studied flip-flops, right? There was one chapter regarding flip-flop. So a set of flip-flop, it is called as flag. Flip-flop means latch or the on-off condition, that is 0 and 1 condition, binary condition, 0 and 1, on and off, latch, open and close. So these are the flip-flops. So a set of flip-flop, it is called as the flag. Microprocessor has 2 flags, that is carry and 0 flag. The next, it is the program counter. So program counter, it is a 16-bit. It is used to store address of next memory location. So program counter, it is used to store the address of the next memory location. It points or directs to the memory location containing the next instruction to be executed. The next, it is the stack pointer. This all are the blocks of the register addressing. So stack pointer, it is a 16-bit used to store address of a memory called as stack. The next it is the instruction register. Instruction register, it is a 8 bit. The first bit of the instruction is loaded in this register. So we have seen the status register. Status register, it is nothing but the flag. So what is flag? Flag, it is a set of flip-flops. And microprocessor has two flags, that is carry and zero flag. Then the program counter, it is a 16-bit counter. It is used to store the address of the next memory. Instruction register, it is a 8-bit. The first byte of instruction is loaded in this register. Program counter, 16-bit, used to store the address of the next memory location. So we have seen the arithmetic and logical unit, and the next it was the register. We have seen the register, that is the accumulator. Accumulator, it is the main register used to store the result of the arithmetic and logical operation. Then we have seen the general purpose register, that is B, D, H, C, E, L. Then the status register. Then what is flag? We have seen that. Program counter, stack pointer, instruction register. The next block, that is the third block, it is the instruction decoder. So above the timing and control, you can see that there is an instruction register and instruction decoder. So what does instruction decoder mean? As its name suggests, it takes instruction from instruction register and decode it by driving control section. You can see these arrows, that it takes the instruction from register and decode it. The next, it is the timing and control section. You can see the timing and control section. This block refers as per signal given by the instruction decoder. So what does instruction decoder do? It takes the instruction from the instruction register and it decodes by the driving control section. So as per the signal, and it gives the signal to the timing and control block. So as per the signal given by the instruction decoder, it generates appropriate signal to control respective devices in order to execute instruction. The fifth, it is the interrupt control. So what does interrupt control do? Interrupt is an essential process in microprocessor. So it executes certain steps when interrupt occurs. Whenever a microprocessor is running, sometimes any error can occur. So at that time the interrupt control, it is switched on. At that time it is essential in the microprocessor to execute certain steps when the microprocessor has some errors. The next, it is the three types of buses. At the left hand side you can see that there is an address bus. At the right hand side you can see that there is a data bus. And at the bottom you can see that there is a control bus. So what does this address bus do? So address bus, you can see that at the left side it is a 16-bit bus and it is in one direction. That means it is unidirectional. The second, it is the data bus. At the right side you can see that D0 to D7 buffer latches. It is the 8-bit data bus. But you can see the arrows, that the arrows are pointed towards both the sides, means it is bidirectional, carries binary data. And the last, it is the control bus. It carries signal to execute operations. So we have seen the arithmetic and logic unit, that it performs the operations like addition, subtraction. These are the arithmetic and the logical operations such as AND, NAND, NOR, XOR, NOR. And the next it was the register. So there are status register, program counter, stack pointer, instruction register, then the general purpose register. The next it was the instruction decoder. What does the instruction decoder do? It takes the instruction from the instruction register. Then the timing and control section. So as the given signal by the instruction decoder, it generates appropriate signal to control respective devices. Then the next it was the interrupt control. Interrupt is an essential process in microprocessor. It executes certain steps when interrupt occurs. Then the last it was the three types of buses, that was the address bus, data bus and the control bus. So address bus, it is the 16 bit, that is A0 to A15, and it is unidirectional. The data bus, it is 8 bit, it is bidirectional, D0 to D7. And then next it was the control bus, it carries signal to execute operation. Now we will see the block diagram of the microcomputer. You can see that there are various blocks in this diagram of microcomputer. The first it was the keyboard, the next it is the keyboard interface, then the power supply is there, data bus, power line, MPU. MPU stands for microprocessor unit. CPU stands for central processing unit. Then the address decoder, address bus, chip select lines, clock, control bus, ROM, RAM, display interface and display. So we are going to study this each block one by one. So as I have explained previously that microcomputer consists of the 5 blocks, that is the input block, output block, control and arithmetic circuit and the memory unit. The memory unit was of 2 types, that is program memory and data memory. Then the output device is there. So we will see the significance of these input devices, that is keyboard, MPU, ROM, RAM, output devices, address decoder. So as you can see in this architecture of microcomputer, it requires different bus structure. We can see that there is a address bus. The address bus, it is of a 16 bit, means 16 address lines, and the another it is the data bus. At the right hand side you can see that there is a data bus. It is of 8 bit. It depends on the CPU or the MPU. Address bus is normally unidirectional and data bus, it is the bidirectional. It sends an address of the required memory on this bus. So what does MPU do in this case? MPU, it sends data through the address bus. It is the unidirectional, and the data bus, it is the bidirectional. From MPU data can be transferred to and from the MPU. Third group of the bus, it is the control bus. You can see here, this is the control bus, below clock and above ROM. So this control bus through which control signals are carried out. So control signals are generated by CPU and it is transferred on this bus to drive the required block of the system. Now let's start with the significance of each block. The first, it is the input device, that is keyboard. So you can see here the input, it was the keyboard. So the reason to connect keyboard input to keyboard interface is the speed of input device, and MPU may not be equal. So after storing the instruction and data, it tells the CPU through a special signal line interrupt which interrupt the MPU. After the MPU completes the current instruction, it stops the normal execution and jumps to a special group of instructions in its monitor program, which gives the response to the keyboard data is entered in the keyboard interface. MPU tells it to send the data on the data bus. Then MPU accepts the data and continues its current job. So we can see that the input was the keyboard and the keyboard interface, and the MPU it sends the data through the data bus and it receives the data. That means it accepts the data and continues its current job. The next block it was the microprocessor unit. So you can see below the interrupt line there is a microprocessor unit or the CPU, that is central processing unit. So this is the main part of the system, like brain of the human being. Data is processed and required control signals are generated to the control the system. The whole processing and data flow is done with the MPU chip, that is microprocessor unit. Microprocessor is a controlling unit and fabricated on a very small chip capable of performing three main functions. So the three main functions of microprocessor is to receive information in digital form, that is in the binary form, is 0 and 1 form. Second, to process this information by means of arithmetic and logical operations. Third, to send result or information in standard form. So, what is MPU? MPU, it is the microprocessor unit. So, it is the main part of the system, like a brain of a human being. So microprocessor is a controlling unit and it is fabricated on a very small chip capable of performing three main functions: to receive information in digital form, to process this information by means of arithmetic and logical operations, and to send the result or information in standard form. The third, it is the ROM. ROM, it is the program memory. It contains the fixed stored program that is known as a monitor program. It has address bus, chip select and read signal lines. ROM is read-only memory. It allows only reading stored information. So basically what is ROM? ROM stands for read-only memory, and the program is stored, that is a fixed program is stored in it, known as a monitor program, and it allows only reading of the stored program or the stored information in it. The next, it is the RAM. RAM, it is the data memory. ROM, it is the program memory. So in RAM, that is data memory, it is normally used to store the data. It is a temporary storage device. Bidirectional data bus is required because to write and read the data into the memory, RAM has address input lines and chip select. RAM is normally 8-bit wide. It allows both read and write, hence read-write or random access memory. So why we use ROM? We use ROM to only read stored information, and it stores fixed programs, that is known as monitor programs. But in RAM stands for random access memory. It allows both read and write, hence it is read-write. It is bidirectional data bus is required because to write and read the data into the memory. The next it is the output devices, that is display. You can see here the display. So in this block diagram you can see that the input was the keyboard. So keyboard interface output of the system is displayed through display interface. The stored data in this display interface is continuously transferred to a 7-segment LED display. So whatever you type, any alphabet or any number, that is stored in the display interface and it shows display on the 7-segment LED display, and the display interface, it transfers the data which is stored in it continuously to the LED display. The next it is the address decoder. So here you can see that at the left hand side there is an address decoder. So address decoder has two main points, that is clock, it is one, and the second it is the power line. So clock, the speed of the system also depends on clock frequency. You can see that the clock, that means pulses, is given to the MPU, that is microprocessor. You can refer this block diagram and you can see here the clock is given to the MPU. So the speed of the system also depends on the clock frequency. And the next it is the power line. Here you can see there is a power line. So the power supply is necessary to operate the circuits. Hence, as shown, all blocks are connected to this power line. So we have studied the significance of this microcomputer. So the blocks were input devices, keyboard, MPU, CPU, ROM, RAM, output devices, that is display, and address decoder. So in this lecture we have studied the block diagram of computer, block diagram of microcomputer, and block diagram of generic microprocessor, and we have studied the significance of all the blocks. So in next lecture we will start with the microprocessor 8085 and its pin diagram.